All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to break down the absolute bedrock of digital security, the principles that guard our entire digital lives.
So, have you ever really stopped to think about it? I mean, your bank account, your DMs, your emails. What's actually standing between all that super sensitive data and, prying eyes? Well, the answer is a field we call information security. So, you can think of InfoSec as this guardian, right? Its whole job is to protect our data from any kind of threat and just keep it reliable. Now, to make that happen, security pros don't just wing it. They build their defenses on a really solid, time-tested framework. And no, we're not talking about spies and secret agents here. In the world of cybersecurity, the CIA is an acronym for the three pillars of any good defensive strategy. I mean, this is the absolute bedrock of how we protect information. Okay, so what are these three pillars? They're confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And what's really cool is that pretty much every single security tool you've ever used, your password, firewall, you name it, is designed to serve at least one of these three ideas. So let's break them down, starting with the first one. First up, confidentiality. This one is all about secrecy. It's the promise that your private stuff stays private. It's making sure that only authorized people can see your data. And the tools we use for this, you know them well. Passwords, two-factor authentication, and of course, encryption. They're basically the digital locks on your data's door. Next up, we have integrity. This is all about trust. It's how we guarantee that our data hasn't been messed with or changed behind our backs. So picture this. You send a super important file. How do you know for sure that it arrived exactly as you sent it? Well, that's where something called a hash function comes in. It's like a digital fingerprint generator. It scans your file and creates this unique code. And here's the magic. If even a single tiny bit of that file is changed, the fingerprint changes completely. It's an instant red flag that something's not right. Okay, quick check. If you want to make absolutely sure your data hasn't been modified, that's integrity, through and through. It's the pillar that's all about keeping your information accurate. I mean, think about it. What's the point of having perfectly secret, perfectly accurate data if you can't even get to it when you need it? And that brings us to our third and final pillar, availability. It sounds simple, but it's so critical. It just means the system and your data have to be accessible when you need them. This is why companies spend so much money on things like backups and redundant servers. It's all to make sure the lights stay on, so to speak. And this is where a really common type of cyber attack comes into play, the denial of service attack, or DOS. What's interesting is that a DOS attack isn't trying to steal your data or change it. Nope. Its only goal is to flood a system with so much traffic that it just collapses. It's a direct attack on availability. Okay, so that's the playbook for the defense. But every good game has two sides, right? To really get it, you have to understand what the offense, the attackers, are trying to do. And it turns out their goals are basically a perfect dark mirror image of our defenses. It's known as the DAD triad: disclosure, alteration, and denial. This is the attacker's wish list. It's super straightforward. They want to disclose confidential secrets, alter data that's supposed to be trustworthy, and deny you access to the systems you need. And when you put them side by side like this, it just clicks. The whole conflict becomes perfectly clear. For every single defensive goal, there's an attacker's goal trying to break it. Confidentiality fights disclosure. Integrity fights alteration. Availability fights denial. It really is a constant tug of war. Okay, so we've got our three core pillars of defense. But is that really the whole story? In our modern digital world, it's not quite enough. There's one more piece to this puzzle, a fourth element that's become absolutely critical, especially when it comes to accountability. And that element is called non-repudiation. This is a really powerful idea. Basically, it's about creating undeniable proof that you did something. So with non-repudiation, you can't say approve a massive bank transfer and then turn around and claim, nope, wasn't me. The proof that it was you is baked right into the system. So how do we actually pull this off? It's done with tools like digital signatures, which are like a unique, unforgeable seal of your identity, and also through secure audit logs, which create a permanent,
tamper-proof record of everything important that happens on a system.
So when we ask which property makes sure a user can't just deny they sent a message, well, that is exactly what non-repudiation is for. It provides that proof.
Okay, I know these ideas can feel a little abstract. So let's bring it all down to earth and look at a real-world battlefield where this stuff is tested every single second, your bank.
Let's see how a bank puts all this together. For confidentiality, all your account information is encrypted, totally scrambled. For integrity, every transaction gets hashed to make sure no one can tamper with the numbers. For availability, they have tons of redundant servers to keep the website and app online 24/7. And finally, for non-repudiation, digital signatures prove exactly who authorized every single transfer. See? It all works together.
And hey, if you need a simple trick to remember the main triad, here's a pretty good one. Just think of CIA as careful, intact, always. You need to be careful with your data. That's confidentiality. It needs to stay intact. That's integrity. And it has to be always available. Careful, intact, always. Pretty neat, right?
So, why does any of this really, truly matter? I mean, beyond the technical jargon. It's because these aren't just acronyms for a test. These principles have very real and sometimes very serious consequences for our actual safety and well-being.
Just look at this point from one of our sources. It's a really sobering thought. We tend to think that confidentiality, keeping secrets, is the most important thing. But imagine a hospital. If their servers go down, if availability fails, doctors can't get to patient records. Suddenly, a security failure isn't about lost data. It could be about lost lives. The stakes are incredibly high. So at the end of the day, the CIA triad is way more than just something you memorize for a certification exam. It's the fundamental language of digital defense. If you can wrap your head around confidentiality, integrity, and availability, you genuinely understand the core of how our entire modern world is protected. But that does leave us with a pretty big question. The CIA triad has been the gold standard for decades. But now, as we're staring down the barrel of new threats, from AI, from quantum computing, from massive disinformation campaigns, is this classic framework still the complete picture? Is it enough to keep us safe in the future? That's the question security experts everywhere are wrestling with right now. Thanks for watching The Explainer.